Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll start now. So we'll start pediatric gastroenterology topics. We'll start with the congenital anomalies of GIT. You have recently you are recently done with your basics. I don't think your result is out. Result त भएको छैन नि हैन?
आएको छैन
एक्जामै
सर।
बाँकी छ।
छैन। सो भर्खरै तिमीहरूको एनाटोमी फिजियोलोजी भइसक्यो। एनाटोमी फिजियोलोजीमा पनि यो कुराहरू त डेफिनेटली इट हेज बीन टट, but we'll go in little details in this class, a few of them. So what are the common congenital anomalies of GI tract? So the common congenital anomalies of GI tract are cleft lip, cleft palate, tracheoesophageal fistula, hypertrophic pyloric stenosis, intestinal atresia, malnutrition, duodenal atresia, Meckel's diverticulum, Hirschsprung's disease, anolectal anomalies. Apart from gross, cleft lip and palate, most of the other congenital anomalies of GI tract are not antenatally diagnosed by ultrasonography. Please remember, एउटा एन्टिनेटल अल्ट्रासाउन्ड जुन हामीले मदरको गर्छौँ त्यो एन्टिनेटल अल्ट्रासाउन्डमा ग्रस कन्जेनिटल एनोमली अफ ब्रेन, तिम्रो क्लेफ्ट लिप, क्लेफ्ट प्यालेट यिनीहरू चाहिँ बुझिन्छ। ट्र्याकियोएसोफेजियल फिस्टुला, हाइपरट्रोफिक पाइलोस्टेनोसिस, यो एस्ट्रेसिया, ड्यूडेनल एट्रेसिया, intestinal atresia, Meckel's diverticulum, Hirschsprung's disease, anolectal anomalies are not detected by antenatal ultrasonogram. This is the reason why you have to examine the baby immediately after birth and look for cleft palate, भित्रपट्टि हुने भएको भएर औँला छिराएर गर्नु पर्यो। ट्र्याकियोएसोफेजियल फिस्टुला, एनोरेक्टल एनोमली चाहिँ we have to look in details once the baby is born. Otherwise, timro hypertrophic pylorostenosis, atresia, intestinal atresia, duodenal atresia, these are the things that is going to come up later. जन्मिने बित्तिकै देखिँदैन, अलि पछि देखिन्छ। त्यो Hirschsprung's disease, you will see it later, हैन? एन्टिनेटल अल्ट्रासाउन्डमा पनि देखिँदैन, एक दुई तीन दिनमा पनि Hirschsprung's disease देखिँदैन। These go, it will take some time to manifest Hirschsprung's disease. So हामीले एन्टिनेटलमा देखिने एउटा क्लेफ्ट लिप, क्लेफ्ट प्यालेट पनि खासै देखिँदैन, यही मात्रै हो। अरु जम्मै आफ्टर बर्थ, इमिडिएटली आफ्टर बर्थ हेर्नै पर्नुपर्ने। त्यसमा ट्र्याकियोएसोफेजियल फिस्टुला, write it down in your notes, TEF, and anolectal anomalies. Others, it will come later. So let us start with cleft lip and palate. Cleft lip is due to hypoplasia of the mesenchymal layer. Timaru, you are recently done with your embryology anatomy, so I'm sure you know a lot. Cleft lip is due to hypoplasia of the mesenchymal layer, resulting in failure of the medial, nasal, and maxillary processes to fuse. And cleft palate is due to failure of the palatal cells to join. यो क्लेफ्ट लिप र क्लेफ्ट प्यालेट चाहिँ खूब कमनली देखिन्छ कम्युनिटीमा। इन्सिडेन्स इज क्वाइट हाई, खूब देखिन्छ क्लेफ्ट लिप र क्लेफ्ट प्यालेट। सो दिस इज हाउ अ क्लेफ्ट लिप लुक लाइक, हैन? यो तिम्रो I'm sorry, एकैछिन. So there is a small notch you can see in this in this picture. Small notch on the vermilion border of the upper lip. It can be partial or it can be complete. Partial भनेको lip मात्र हैन, lip मात्र तिम्रो चाहिँ philtrum पुरै philtrum तिम्रो चाहिँ philtrum is the space between the upper lip and the nose. Philtrum is the space between upper lip and nose लाई हामीले philtrum भन्छौं. अब यो cleft lip मा चाहिँ right होइन कि left side को cleft lip छ यो, that is again partial. Complete setup, complete भएको भए whole तिम्रो चाहिँ philtrum would have been there would have been a notch in the whole philtrum and it would have invaded the base of the nose. त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि this is partial left sided cleft lip. This picture complete left sided cleft lip. We don't know whether cleft palate is there or not because we have to look it inside. So right side where it is intact, you can see it here. Okay, and here, so it is complete cleft lip and palate. Actually palate is also involved in this picture and bilateral. It is bilateral. This is unilateral left side, unilateral left side. This is partial cleft lip. This is complete cleft lip. This is cleft bilateral cleft lip and palate complete. So prognosis is definitely not good in this one. Prognosis is very, very good in this one. Only lip is involved. If it is involved cosmetically also, prognosis is better. If we do cosmetic surgery, looks better in this. But there will be a lot of residual this thing in even if you repair it, is there is going to have some residual problem here. So what is the incidence of cleft lip? The incidence of cleft lip without palate is 1 in 170. The risk factors are maternal drug use. Like there are a few anticonvulsants which is known to cause cleft lip, cleft palate, like anticonvulsants, methotrexate. There are syndrome complexes that has been associated with cleft lip. There is something called as Peary-Robin syndrome. भन्ने एउटा syndrome छ, Peary-Robin syndrome. यसमा चाहिँ there is associated micrognathia cleft lip हुन्छ, and there has been lot of studies which has shown there is a genetic predisposition in the cleft lip and palate. So cleft lip, there will be a small notch in the vermilion border of the cleft lip, of the lip, to complete separation in the floor of the nose. It may be unilateral or bilateral. Cleft palate is usually in midline and may involve only uvula or may extend into or through the soft and hard palate to the incisive foramen. So how do we manage these problems? The problem related to cleft lip and palate are feeding problem. Cleft lip matra bhayo feeding problem huँदैन, but if there is cleft lip and palate, there is chance of regurgitation. भनेको feed बच्चाहरुले milk लिँदाखेरि चाहिँ तल नगएर it can regurgitate and comes through the nose. So there can be feeding problem, there can be problem in speech because हुने नै भयो माथिपट्टि तिम्रो प्यालेट खुल्ला भयो भने त your tongue is cannot consonant तिमीले pronunciation गर्न नसकिने हुन्छ once child starts speaking after 18.5 years of age. Facial features in the form of cosmetic there can be a lot of issues. Dentition, there will be dental problem, psychological problem once child becomes older.
So psychological problem चाहिँ अपेरेन्ट्सले गर्दा कि अरु नै के पनि
अब पेरेन्ट्सहरुमा पनि मेरो बच्चा किन यस्तो जन्मियो के भयो भन्ने कुरा आयो बच्चाहरु पनि अब तिमीले त्यसलाई म्यानेज गरेर नभने त भोलिपछि गएर त पियर्सहरुले जिस्काउने भए सानसानो क्लासमा हैन र त्यो भएर इट क्यान साइकोलोजिकल प्रब्लम क्यान बी देयर विथ द पेरेन्ट्स एन्ड also with the child. So feeding can be done if there is a lot of feeding issues. Use of orthodontic plate for cleft palate. यदि cleft palate छ भनेदेखि orthodontic पाइन्छ बजारमा त्यो लगाएर गर्न सकिन्छ. Surgery for cleft lip is usually done by plastic surgeons at 3 months of age, and for cleft palate before 1 year गर्नै पर्ने हुन्छ. धेरै ढिलो गर्नु हुँदैन किनभनेदेखि जति ढिलो गर्यो त्यति नै स्पीच मा प्रब्लम हुने भएको भएर to enhance normal speech development cleft palate surgery should be done before 1 year of age. So what are the complications with cleft lip and cleft palate, I should say. Lip le त त्यति प्रब्लम गर्दैन. Cleft palate पनि भयो भनेदेखि चाहिँ there is chance of recurrent otitis media, excessive dental decay, malposition of the teeth, speech defects, psychological problems. So the next is tracheoesophageal fistula. This is one of the most important topics in congenital anomalies of GIT, and this is potentially life-threatening. अब cleft lip र cleft palate त cleft lip त जन्मिने बित्तिकै तिमीले बच्चा resuscitate गर्छौ, सफा गर्छौ, हेर्छौ. Every delivery is attended by a pediatrician or a person who is trained in neonatal resuscitation. एकजना डाक्टर हुन्छ नै भनेपछि apparent एकदमै apparent भइहाल्छ. यो जन्मिने बित्तिकै देखियो, थाहा पनि भयो, डायग्नोसिस भयो. अनि एभ्री न्यूबर्न को चाहिँ क्लेफ्ट लिप नभइकिन खाली आइसोलेटेड क्लेफ्ट प्यालेट मात्र पनि हुन सक्छ. दैट इज द रिजन once you examine the child thoroughly you should check for the तिमीले ग्लोभ्स usually patient receive गर्दाखेरि हामीले ग्लोभ्स लगाएको हुन्छौं. You should put your index finger inside the palate and look for the intactness of the palate. तर ट्र्याकियोएसोफेजियल फिस्टुला चाहिँ एपरेन्टली यो जन्मिने बित्तिकै देखिँदैन. जन्मिने बित्तिकै एपरेन्टली बच्चा रुन्छ, ठीकठाक हुन्छ. त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि यो मिसडायग्नोज भएर थाहा नहुन सक्छ. It may go unnoticed in the first few hours. That is the reason you have to carefully observe for you have to examine for tracheoesophageal fistula or esophageal atresia and look for the signs in the first 24 hours of life. तो के हो त हामीले के हेर्ने त त्यसको निम्ति we'll discuss little later. So disorder in the formation and the movement of the cranial and caudal folds of the primitive gut results in TEF. Shortcut from TEF भन्छु यसलाई. 5 types of TEF are there. Type 1, the upper part of the esophagus ends in a blind and lower part connected to the trachea by fistula. So more than 80%, कुनै books मा तिम्रो 90% लेखेको छ. More than 80, I would say more than 80% of all tracheoesophageal fistula is type 1 fistula, where upper part of the esophagus ends in a blind end and lower part is connected to a trachea. So this is how it looks like. So पहिलो पिक्चरमा तिमीले चाहिँ के देख्यौ त? पहिलो पिक्चरमा माथिपट्टिको esophagus ends in a blind pouch. Is it clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
अनि तलको चाहिँ fistulous opening in the trachea. Just above the bifurcation of trachea, you can see lower end of esophagus has a fistulous opening. So this is the most common variety. Type 2 के हो त? So type 2, both upper and lower end ends blindly and there is no fistula. So type 2 is your B ma dekhako cha, both upper and the lower end ends in a blind pouch. There is no fistulous connection. Type 3, H-type fistula. There is a fistulous tract between the upper and the lower part of the esophagus with the trachea. There is no atresia in type 3. हामीलाई H type fistula भन्ने भन्छौं. C भनेको यो H type fistula तिमीले देख्यौ. Okay, trachea is also intact, esophagus is also intact, but there is a fistulous connection between the trachea and the esophagus. H जस्तो देखिने भएको भएर we call it H type fistula. Exam मा usually studentहरुले चाहिँ H type fistula is the most common भनेर भनिराको देखिन्छ, आन्सर लेखिराको देखिन्छ, but it is not so. The commonest variety is the one where upper part of the esophagus ends in a blind pouch, A ma dekhira chau jun, and lower part there is a fistulous connection with the trachea. So type 1, type 2, type 3. Type 4, both the upper and the lower part of the opening, both the upper and the lower part of the esophagus open in trachea by two separate openings. So this is a rare variety. And upper part of the esophagus is type 5 is upper part of the esophagus is covered by the trachea and lower part ends blindly. So this is the most rarest variety. So type 4 is D and type 5 is E, figure E. So these are the rarer variety of sacroesophageal fistula. So I'd like to discuss you a case which was born in Nepal Medical College Teaching Hospital. This was a newborn who was diagnosed to have type 2 esophageal fistula. Type 2 भनेको both the upper and the lower part of the esophagus ends in a blind pouch and there is no fistula. So this was a child who was born almost 2.5 years back in our hospital. कसरी थाहा भयो त भन्दाखेरि there was lot of cooling immediately after birth. Child was okay. Okay, अब residents usually every newborn who is born, you are supposed to insert an NG tube through the esophagus up to the stomach. हरेक newborn मा तिमीहरुले यो गर्नु जरुरी छ. के गर्ने भन्दाखेरि NG ट्युब लाई नोस्ट्रिल बाट पास गर्ने, इसोफेगस बाट स्टोमक मा पास गर्ने, त्यसपछि अलिकति तिम्रो 3 cc सिरिन्ज मा अलिकति एयर लिएर माने पुश गर्ने NG ट्युब मा. र एकजनाले पेटमा स्टेथोस्कोप राखेर इपिग्यास्ट्रिक रिजन मा चाहिँ सुन्ने. के हुन्छ, देयर विल बी गस्ट अफ एयर स्टोमक मा आएपछि you can hear it with the stethoscope. भनेको मतलब के छ त, esophagus is intact, right everyone?
Yes sir.
तर यसले सानसानो फिस्टुलर कनेक्सन छ कि छैन हामीलाई के थाहा भयो भन्दाखेरि एउटा एनजी ट्युब इन्सर्ट गरेर यो esophagus चाहिँ तिम्रो इन्ट्याक्ट छ भन्ने बुझ्यो, इन्ट्याक्ट छ भन्ने बुझ्यो. यो सी फिगर हेर, एउटा एनजी ट्युब पेट भित्र छिर्यो भने के भयो त, esophagus इन्ट्याक्ट छ भन्ने बुझ्यो. तर त्यसले के रुल आउट गरेन त, फिस्टुला छ कि छैन, सानसानो कनेक्सन छ कि छैन भन्ने कुरा रुल आउट गरेन. यो कहिलेकाहीँ it may go unnoticed till 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, type C खालको। किन डिफिकल्टी रेस्पिरेसन हुन्छ होला, एब्डोमिनल डिस्टेन्सन हुन्छ होला भन त? एब्डोमिनल डिस्टेन्सन किन हुन्छ, डिफिकल्टी रेस्पिरेसन किन हुन्छ भन त?
एयर जति सब पेटमा
एयर
गएर
लङ्समा जान नपाएर।
अब जम्मै भएको त ट्र्याकियाको एयर चाहिँ इट विल गो इनसाइड द स्टोमक एन्ड देयर विल बी एब्डोमिनल डिस्टेन्सन. अब abdominal distance will be there gradually to such an extent that it compromises, it will push the diaphragm upwards, and then it will compromise the expansion of the lungs. Arco, if it is low, although side esophagus fistula छ भनेदेखि there is a known entity, transient relaxation of lower esophageal sphincter is known to occur in newborns. So this leads to aspiration of the gastric content. हुन सक्ने भयो तलबाट माथि गएर चाहिँ aspiration भएर. Again, pneumonia can be there in type 1 esophageal atresia with fistula. All right. Type 2 will have scaphoid abdomen. अब एउटा पनि के पनि हावा छिर्न पाएर भने चाहिँ स्कफाइड एब्डोमेन हुने नै भयो. Type 3 will have recurrent coughing or recurrent pneumonia, aspiration pneumonia. Any child who will come present to you in your practice later life, बार-बार pneumonia नै हुन्छ उसलाई, बार-बार pneumonia हुन्छ भनेदेखि you should think of tracheoesophageal fistula. And type 4 again will be aspiration with feeding. So this is how clinical features different in different types of tracheoesophageal. So it can be associated with congenital anomalies like bacterial association, bacterial vertebral, anorectal, cardiac, tracheoesophageal, and radial and limb anomaly defect. So any child whom you have seen esophageal atresia or TEF, you should also look for vertebral anomalies, anorectal malformations, cardiac problems, radial and limb problems. So your features we call it bacterial association. Dr. Shekhar, हजुर भन्नु न. ए तपाई उसमा जानु न, प्रशासनमा जानु न, म एकजनालाई भनिदिन्छु. ए हुन्छ. हो के पनि गरेछ छैन. एकछिन बस्दै गर्नु, म आउँछु एकछिनमा. म त्यहाँ म एउटा क्लास लिइदिन्छु अनलाइन, यो सकेर म तपाईलाई कल गर्छु, बस्दै गर्नु. हाम्रै अफिसमा आएर बस्दै गर्नु भयो नि हुन्छ, म मिलाइदिन्छु. तपाईँ मिल्नु पर्ने हो, नजानु है, बस्नु. So how do you diagnose a child with TEF? At delivery room, inability to pass catheter into the stomach or NG tube into the stomach. NG tube usually हामीले catheter सबैमा हाल्दैनौँ. We put NG nasogastric tube हाल्छौँ. यदि त्यसले पनि भएन, यदि राम्रोसँग गएन भनेदेखि we put red rubber catheter. Ideal thing to do is red rubber catheter, which is radio lucent. हामीले त्यो यदि गएन भनेदेखि एउटा रेड रबर क्याथेटर राखेर त्यसपछि एक्सरे गरेर रेडियो लुसेन्ट हुन्छ, त्यो एक्सरेले पकड्छ त्यसलाई, अनि दिस हाउ यु मेक अ डायग्नोसिस. अब हामीले त यहाँ इन्डोस्कोपी गर्छौँ बच्चाहरूको, वी डु इन्डोस्कोपी गरेर नै झन् सबभन्दा राम्रो हो यदि डायग्नोसिस कन्फर्म गर्नको निम्ति. अर्को चेस्ट एक्सरे to look for upper esophageal pouch which is dilated with air, यो पनि red rubber catheter हालेरै गर्न सकिन्छ. And contrast study like barium which outlines the blind pouch. अर्को लेखिराखे यसमा, मैले लेखेको छुइनँ, इन्डोस्कोपीले पनि गर्न सकिन्छ, अपजिया इन्डोस्कोपी.
सर त्यो क्याथेटरको नाम के भन्नुभयो हजुरले?
रेड रबर क्याथेटर।
हस्, थ्याङ्क यू सर।
रविन्द्र, त्यहाँ डाक्टर शेखर आउनु भएको रहेछ, रुममा त के पनि भएको छैन भनेर भन्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो। लौ न दीपकलाई भनिदिनु नि त। त्यहाँ भन्नुपर्छ। So surgical repair, surgical management of the patient, surgical repair गर्नु पर्यो यसलाई। डाक्टर शेखर आउनु भएको रहेछ माथि बस्नको निम्ति। चमैले भेटेर के चाहिन्छ सबै उपलब्ध गराइदिनु, म्यानेज गरिदिनु नि रुमको। ल ल गइहाल्नु, माथि त्यही हुनुहुन्छ क्या। Preoperatively, patient should be kept in prone position to prevent aspiration, repeated suction of the secretions. Patient should be managed in a thermoneutral environment. Temperature should be controlled, fluid and electrolyte balance, and respiratory air. Surgical में हमले के गर्छौं त ओपन thoracotomy गरेर end to end anastomosis. End to end anastomosis, if there is blind end both side मा type B जस्तो भयो भने चाहिँ हामीले end to end anastomosis गर्छौं। अब type 1 सम्म त कमन खालको हो भन्देखि blind end छ माथिपट्टि, तलपट्टि fistulous opening छ भन्देखि fistulous tract लाई चाहिँ हामीले बन्द गरिदिन्छौं अनि माथि र तल end to end anastomosis गर्छौं। Who does this surgery? Pediatric surgeons, cardiothoracic surgeons हरूले गर्छन्। The very known complication of end-to-end anastomosis surgery गर्दाखेरि के हुन्छ भन्देखि अब इमेजिन गर एउटा न्यूबॉर्न को esophageal diameter कत्रो हुन्छ? It's very small. अब त्यसलाई पनि end to end तिमीले चाहिँ anastomosis गर्दाखेरि त that child is likely to develop post anastomotic stricture few months later. जब गर्ने बित्तिकै त देखिँदैन, तर बच्चा ग्रो हुँदै जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ इसोफेगस पनि बढ्नु पर्ने, तर anastomotic साइटमा त ठुलो हुन पाउँदैन। And this anastomotic stricture is universal and is likely to occur in almost every newborn who undergoes this surgery. अब कुन एक्सटेन्टमा सर्जिकल एक्सपर्टिज के छ, कुन एक्सटेन्टमा कति स्ट्रक्चर हुन्छ भन्ने चाहिँ यसले यो चाहिँ कति पुल गर्नु पर्यो esophagus माथि र तल। एउटा esophagus is a fixed structure, unlike small intestine, large intestine चाहिँ अलिकति हामीले फ्लेक्सिबल तल माथि गर्न सक्छौं, तान्न सक्छौं, पुल गर्न सक्छौं, तर esophagus is a fixed structure। यो माथिपट्टि अलि धेरै नै माथि चाहिँ ब्लन्ट पाउच भयो, तल र माथिमा धेरै ग्याप छ भने चाहिँ त्यसको प्रोग्नोसिस इज नट गुड, किनभनेदेखि धेरै तानेर गर्दाखेरि एकदम स्ट्रक्चर धेरै हुने सम्भावना भयो, तर नजिकै नजिकै ब्लाइन्ड पाउच भयो भने चाहिँ त्यसलाई म्यानिपुलेट गर्न सकिने भएको भएर चाहिँ स्ट्रक्चर पनि कम हुने सम्भावना भयो। सो इट इज समथिङ लाइक दिस। So that was a child मैले अघि देखाएँ मैले who developed post anastomotic stricture. We did barium and we saw stricture there, and after eight sessions of esophageal dilatation child has stopped coming. So यो एक्चुअली आजकल टीएफ को सर्जरी हुन लागेको नेपालमा र यसको राम्रो प्रोग्नोसिस भएको हुन थालेको यो 5-7 वर्ष मात्र भयो, नत्र death was universal in TEF। राम्रो खालको त्यति एक्सपर्टिज नभएको भएर 7-8 वर्ष भन्दा पहिला चाहिँ अलमोस्ट सबैजना बच्चाहरू TEF का बच्चाहरू मर्थे, किनभनेदेखि गरेर मात्र सर्जरी गरेर मात्र पनि भएन, त्यसलाई पोस्ट सर्जिकल कम्प्लिकेसन स्ट्रक्चर डेभलप गरेर त्यसलाई म्यानेज पनि गर्नु पर्यो। एन्ड यस्तो खालको सर्भिस हामीले दिएको कारणले वी आर गेटिङ लट अफ रेफरल्स इन NMCTH। So probably NMCTH is the only institution where we have pediatric gastroenterology service, endoscopy services in children and newborns.
Sir, sir, you pre-op ma kina prone position ma raheko?
प्रोन पोजिसनमा राख्ने कारण तिम्रो सुपाइन पोजिसनमा तिमीले राख्यो भने त एस्पिरेसन हुने चान्स भयो नि। एस्पिरेसन हुने चान्सले गर्दाखेरि प्रोन पोजिसन राख्यो भने त जति पनि तिम्रो सिक्रेसन्सहरु ओरल क्याभिटीमा छ जम्मै बाहिर निस्किन्छ। So next one is hypertrophic pyloric stenosis. This is another common congenital anomaly that is seen in infants, newborns. I would say infants, newborns. Incidence in US is as high as 1 in 300. Male preponderance, male are likely to suffer more than male child is likely to suffer more than females. Disease in parents, यदि फादरलाई हाइपरट्रोफिक पाइलोरिक स्टेनोसिस थियो भनेदेखि अब आफ्नो छोरा अथवा छोरीलाई हुने चान्स धेरै हुने भयो। Disease in parents increase the chance in the offspring, babies. So this is the normal anatomy of, you can see in esophagus, stomach and duodenum, and in pyloric stenosis, pylorus will be enlarged. Right? Hypertrophic नामैले छ hypertrophic pyloric stenosis, त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ pylorus will be enlarged and liquid and solid will not be able to pass through the enlarged pylorus. So what are the risk factors of hypertrophic pyloric stenosis? Abnormal muscle innervation, increased prostaglandins are known to are supposed to be the risk factors in hypertrophic pyloric. These are the postulated risk factors in hypertrophic pyloric stenosis. What are the clinical features? कतिखेर सस्पेक्ट गर्ने कुनै पनि इन्फेन्टमा कतिखेर सस्पेक्ट गर्ने, दिस इज भेरी मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेन्ट थिङ। मैले यहाँ स्लाइडमा लेखेको रहन्छ, एनी चाइल्ड, यसरी जाउँ, डोन्ट राइट इट डाउन, अलमोस्ट एभ्री न्यूबॉर्न विल हैव certain degree of regurgitation. दूध खुवाउने बित्तिकै हुलुक्क निकाल्ने। मैले अघि नै भने, there is transient relaxation of lower esophageal sphincter in children and it is very very common in newborns. अब कुनै पनि मदरले डक्टरले एकदम भमिटिङ गर्छ भनेर तिम्रो क्लिनिकमा ल्याउनु भयो, हस्पिटलमा ल्याउनु भयो भनेदेखि, is it a regurgitation or vomiting? This is what you have to differentiate. हैन, दूध खुवाउने बित्तिकै हुलुक्क एंगल अफ माउथबाट अलिकति दूध निस्किन्छ, this is not vomiting, this is regurgitation. Vomiting is due to forceful contraction of the abdominal muscles. हुल्ला निस्किने भयो, this is vomiting. So forceful contraction of the abdominal muscles ले गर्दाखेरि हो भनेदेखि it is vomiting. Tara, there is no forceful contraction. This is just without any effort. The milk will just come out from the angle of the mouth. This is regurgitation. So this is what you have to differentiate. And regurgitation is universal and is very very common in newborns. अब यस्तो खालको लिएर आयो भनेदेखि you should always के गर्नु त्यो बच्चालाई भन्दाखेरि, baby child will be playful, will be thriving well. हैन, फिडिङ पनि राम्रै गरिरहेको हुन्छ, सकिङ वेल, अनि तिमीहरूले वेट हेर्दाखेरि वेट चाहिँ ठिक हुनु पर्यो, वेट शुड बी एप्रोप्रिएट फर दैट एज। ओके, अब नाउ when will you suspect hypertrophic pyloric stenosis? Any child who comes to you at around 8 to 12 weeks of life, भनेको 8 weeks भनेको 2 महिना, 12 भनेको 3 महिना, 2 देखि 3 महिनाको बच्चा यदि मदरले लिएर आउनु भयो डक्टर पहिला त भमिटिङ थिएन, अलिअलि दुध खाएपछि हुलुक्क अलिकति निकाल्थ्यो. दिस इज व्हाट दे से टिपिकली इन नेपाली. अलिकति हुलुक्क दुध खाएपछि अलिकति निकाल्थ्यो. तर अहिले त वाल छाड्न थालेको छ, वाल निकाल्न थालेको छ भनेर भन्यो भनेदेखि यो टिपिकल यो एजमा भनेको 8 to 12 weeksमा यु शुड अलवेज देयर शुड बी अ हाई इंडेक्स अफ सस्पिसन इन अ child at around 8 to 12 weeks of life, 2 to 3 months of age, and this is the time when hypertrophic pyloric stenosis को manifestation हुन्छ. And this is the time when you should ask for an ultrasound abdomen to look for. Particularly, you should write down in your notes. Ultrasound गर्दाखेरि कुनै पनि investigation गर्दाखेरि you should justify. You should ask radiologist what you want to look for. So there will be non-bilious vomiting, and there will be. Just a minute, I got a call from hospital. Hello, Pannu. अब अस्ति त सफै थियो त. त्यो मिलाउला नि, त्यो कर्मठको कसैलाई गरुडलाई गरौँला नि. उताबाट गराउनु, उताबाट गराउनु नि. उता कसरी फोहोर भयो त, उताबाट गराउनु अनि अगाडि बढ्नु नि, सफा गराउँदै गर्नु. हुन्छ कमल भन्नु पर्यो भने त्यहाँ हाउसकिपिङमा भन्नु. So there will be a non-bilious vomiting at around 8 to 12 weeks of life, and there will be hypochloremic metabolic alkalosis. Physical examination will reveal palpation of the mass in the abdomen, firm will be mobile and olive sepid. There will be visible peristalsis after feeds. And the most important diagnostic tool is an ultrasound abdomen. The pyloric muscle thickness, which is more than 4 millimeter in thickness, is diagnostic of hypertrophic pyloric stenosis. भनेपछि एउटा 10 हप्ताको बच्चा आयो, you ask for an ultrasound abdomen, ultrasound एउटा गरेर लिएर आउनु भयो भनेदेखि ultrasonologistले radiologistले will not look for pyloric muscle thickness unless you ask them to look for. किनभनेदेखि उनीहरूले अल्ट्रासाउन्ड एब्डोमेन हेर्यो भनेदेखि ग्रसली लिभर, स्प्लिन, किडनीज, ब्ल्याडर हेर्छन्. युजुअली पाइलोरिक मसलको थिकनेस चाहिँ रुटिनली हेरिँदैन. त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि what is your differential diagnosis after? What is the complaint of the child? What is your differential, and what you would like to look for in ultrasound? You have to write in requisition form. This is very, very important. अथवा normal भनेर लेखिदिन्छ. Normal त भएन किनभनेदेखि हेरेकै हुँदैन रेडियोलोजिस्टले. Okay, because it is not routinely seen. So what are the differential diagnoses? Improper feeding, regurgitation is one of the differential diagnoses, and gastroesophageal reflux disease. Severe GERD can mimic hypertrophic pyloric stenosis. And there are certain inborn error, there are a lot of inborn error of metabolism which causes vomiting, but usually inborn error starts immediately after birth, and they'll have a very, very poor weight gain. Ramson's weight gain back on. This is how you differentiate inborn error of metabolism vomiting र GERD अथवा चाहिँ hypertrophic pyloric stenosis को बच्चाहरू. And duodenal stenosis is another differential diagnosis. Adrenal insufficiency, like congenital adrenal hyperplasia, which will be teaching you in details in pediatric endocrinology in 8th semester or 9th semester. So these are the closest differential diagnoses: regurgitation and gastroesophageal reflux disease and duodenal stenosis. समीर म क्लास लिँदै थिएँ म अलि कल ब्याक गर्छु फेरि so pre-operatively child is likely to be dehydrated when they'll come lately in hospital hypertrophic pyelonephritis को dehydration हुन सक्छ राम्रोसँग टाइममा ल्याएनन् भनेदेखि you should look for the electrolytes and do you should have to resuscitate the child with IV fluids half normosaline with 5 to 10% dextrose with potassium chloride. And the surgery that is done in hypertrophic pyelonephritis is Ramstead pyeloromyotomy with a short transverse incision. Pyloric mass is split without cutting mucosa. Husband's disease. This is one of the common cause of lower intestinal tract obstruction. The incidence of Hirschsprung's disease is 1 in 5,000. Birth, again male preponderance. It is common in preterms, and it can be associated. It may be associated with Down syndrome. Down syndrome children are likely to have Hirschsprung's disease. That's why you have to screen them for whether they have it or not. You have to screen them. The cause of Hirschsprung's disease is abnormal innervation of the bowel due to arrest of neuroblast migration from proximal to distal bowel. And it is common in the rectosigmoid region. Almost 75% of all Hirschsprung's disease is in the rectosigmoid region. The entire colon can be involved in almost 10% of patients. And Hirschsprung's disease is due to absence of Meissner's and Auerbach's plexus in intestine. Hypertrophic nerve burdens with increased level of acetylcholinesterase is seen. So, what are the clinical features? There will be delayed passage of meconium. Usually, meconium is newborn babies pass meconium within 48 hours after birth. But first meconium, if they pass 5 days, 7 days later, जन्मेको 5 दिन 7 दिन पछि पास गर्यो भनेदेखि there should be high index of suspicion त्यही बेलामा नै. And chronic constipation early infancy मा 1 महिना 2 महिना 3 महिना भछ बल्ल यो बेलामा नै chronic constipation भयो. Very tight stools once in 8 to 10 days. 8 दिन 10 दिन 14 दिनमा एकचोटी गर्ने chronic constipation in very early infancy. failure to thrive, enterocolitis because of the chronic constipation. On examination, there will be fecal mass on palpation of the abdomen, and rectal examination will reveal empty rectum. Rectum is empty of feces with normal anal tone. How would you diagnose? Rectal manometry, increase in rectal pressure with rectal distension. And the diagnostic test is rectal suction biopsy. And it should contain adequate sample of submucosa to see ganglionic cells. And this submucosa sample will positively stain for acetylcholinesterase. And how do we treat? Excise the aganglionic segment and anastomosis, end-to-end anastomosis. Anorectal anomalies. A variety of anorectal anomalies have been described. These may be anatomically classified as high, intermediate, and low. And the position is determined by the relation of the terminal part of bowel to the puborectalis sling. So, male child with present with features of intestinal obstruction and high anomaly is common. Imperforate anus is common in both male and female. At birth, every newborn baby who is born, you should identify the anal opening immediately after birth. And ideally, anal opening ठीक भएर पनि हुँदैन, कहिलेकाहीँ हाई भेराइटी हो भनेदेखि anal opening त ठीक छ, तर चाहिँ भित्र गएर चाहिँ तिम्रो चाहिँ बन्द छ भनेदेखि त मिस हुने भयो. That is the reason you have to pass NG tube जुन माथि तिमीले esophageal patency हेर्यौ, स्टोमकमा सम्म लिएर गयौ र एयर पास गरेर हेर्यौ, त्यही catheter चाहिँ त्यही NG tube चाहिँ you can pass through the anal opening and look for whether it stands for meconium or not. अलिकति भित्रसम्म छिराएर निकाल्दाखेरि यदि meconium लाग्यो भनेदेखि now there is no anorectal malformation भन्ने कुरा बुझ्यो. तर के पनि लागेन, अलि भित्रसम्म छिराउँदाखेरि नि के पनि meconium हरू देखिन भनेदेखि अथवा राम्रोसँग गएन भनेदेखि there is chance of high variety anorectal malformation. Extra film should be obtained 12 to 24 hours after birth with baby in inverted position. And it is always important to rule out urogenital anomalies in patients with anorectal malformations. किनभनेदेखि embryologically यो झन्डै झन्डै एउटै ठाउँबाट ओरिजिनेट हुने भएको भएर there can be urogenital anomalies coexist गर्न सक्छ. त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि. And again, treatment is surgical repair of the anomaly. This is probably the last slide. तिमीहरुकोमा एउटा diaphragm